know anything about Bolivia?
Actually, my parents are from Bolivia.
Oh my god! I don't believe you! In today's episode, we will be having an interview with a real Bolivian, if you believe me. And also, we'll have a game show to test out the knowledge of our beautiful and amazing crowd. Thank you. But first, let's hear some facts about Bolivia. Bolivia is a country located in South America. It is one of the only countries in all of America that is landlocked. Currently, it holds the place of 27th biggest country in all of the world. So now, let's begin with our interview. Now we have here Michelle, which is a Bolivian girl that moved to Brazil when she was young. Through this interview, we will get to know her and learn a little bit more about immigration. Let's go to Sarah.
Hi, Shay. Hey, Sarah. I'm very glad to be at the show. How old were you when you moved to Brazil?
I was 10 years old.
Do you like it in here? And why?
Yes, I think Brazil is a really nice country because it's very touristic.
Positive and negative points.
I think the positive points are the investments in population. They're much higher than in Bolivia, plus the amazing beaches and all the different cultures. But people aren't very caring and attention in general, and also the high prices in the stores are kind of inconvenient.
Favorite food in Brazil?
Of course, with no doubt, I would say it's the shineki.
What do you miss?
Personally, I think what I mostly miss about Bolivia are my friends and my family.
Do you have any funny stories about when you lived in Bolivia?
Actually, yes, there's a very funny story from when I was around 8 years old and I was a scout. There was this place where we used to make our activities, and we had some issues there because the restrooms were being reformed, so you had to pay to go to the establishment's restrooms. So I hadn't taken any money because I was a kid, so I had to ask my chief for the money, and like I hadn't went like 4 to 5 times already, and I was ashamed for asking him the money for it because it's kind of and I actually ended up trying to hold it so I wouldn't bother anybody, but in the end I actually pissed in front of everyone.
What were the reasons that made you move?
Actually, my mom owns a company, and as Evo Morales assumed the presidency of the country, he changed some laws that actually didn't help her. So based on that, we decided to come to Brazil.
Is there anything you haven't got used to yet?
I think the climate is something that I haven't got used to, but otherwise, I guess everything is pretty fine. 5 years living here, you can get used to pretty much stuff.
The first thing that drew your attention?
I would say the language, because I had never really had contact with Portuguese, never in my life. And now for our break, we will be merchandising the new Pepsi shampoo. It is great and against the ressecamento.
As I said earlier, the topic of today's game show will be the history of Bolivia, and the winner of the game show will receive a signed copy of my wonderful self-help book. So now, let's go to our first question. How were the civilizations in the Bolivian region before the arrival of the Spanishes?
I know. In Bolivia, archaeological sites have been discovered indicating that this region was inhabited by men 21,000 years ago. From 700 BC to 1200 AD, the Tiwanaku Empire, formed by Aymaras, Quechua and Chiquitos, was developed. From the 13th to the 6th centuries, this region was incorporated into the Inca Empire. I know that! I know that.
Well, in 1538, the Spaniard Francisco Pizarro conquered the region by annexing the viceroy of the Rio de la Plata. With the installation of the Spanish settlers, were founded several cities such as Chiquisaca, present-day Sucre, Potosí, La Paz, and Cochabamba. The wealth of the silver mines of Potosí was responsible for the arrival of many settlers and the great wealth that took place there.
Bolivian independence took place on the day 6th of August in 1825. Bolivia was one of the first colonies to rebel against Spanish rule, led by Simon Bolivar. 5 days later, he adopted the current name in honor of his liberator.
In 1879, Chile seized the Bolivian port of Antofagasta, taking Bolivia and Peru, an area of Bolivia, to the Pacific War. Chile has won the war, and since then Bolivia has no access to the sea. In 1936, during the Chaco War, Bolivia had to give another piece of its territory to Paraguay. In the war against Brazil, Bolivia lost Acre and the western part of Mato Grosso. The new configuration of the Bolivian territory, together with the great political stability, causes Bolivia to experience a coup d'etat every year between 1850 and 1950.
Given the conditions of extreme poverty of the Bolivian population and the wealth of fuel, in 1952 a popular uprising took over the power, the Nationalist Revolutionary Movement, MNR. A fact that generated the nationalization of the mines, the universal vote, and the agrarian reform. A few days later, the MNR departs from the people and splits itself. In 1964, the army took over the power, and in 1967, Che Guevara was executed by the Bolivian army.
In the early 90s, the country adopted economic liberalism, privatized the mines and various public enterprises. Still, social and economic stability continued. Public discontent with the government continued.
Since the 2000s, the Bolivian people fought against the privatization of Cochabamba's water, in favor of coca plantations, against the taxes that the government wanted to charge for the wages, and in favor of gas nationalization. All this culminated in the fall of the President Lousada's regime and the apprehension of the La Paz by the indigenous population. Thus, in 2005, Evo Morales Ayma became president of Bolivia through direct elections.
Buenas noches. Se aprova agora a lei que proíbe a las pessoas transexuales a desquisarse. La notícia sacudiu todo o movimento LGBT+, género, pelas y muchas protestas en las calles, pues. No solo retiró el derecho de casarse, como también sacó el derecho de adoptar y ejercer cualquier papel en el Senado, hiriendo seriamente la Constitución de los Derechos Humanos, que dice que todo ser humano tiene el derecho de elegir poderes políticos. Isso nos faz ser uma grande dúvida. Se elas não podem exercer direitos básicos, então quer dizer que elas não são humanos?
Mene.
Por que
What were
fazer
the reasons
pergunta?
that made you move?
É isso. Tá bom. Made you move to
that made
That made you move my legs.
Que engraçado também.
Não tem bem jogada. What were the reasons
Velho,
that
eu não sei
made
o que
you...
eu tô fazendo na minha vida. Hello,
Alguém
this is the
consegue?
food shop.
Oh, não!